Andre Aguadibane shares profound and truthful account about mediumship, spiritual guardians, and the role of mentors in human life.
Oh, wow. So, in other words, for us to truly be able to get in touch with our mentors, our spiritual guardians, the very first step then would be to extend an invitation, to actively call them forth.
Listen here. For you to make contact with them, you don't need a single thing, because he has his hand placed right on your right shoulder. Yeah, you just need to slow down, pause, pause. Say a prayer, close your eyes, breathe in, and then breathe out. Pause. All of our emotions are connected to our breathing. Pause. So, do you practice meditation? Pause. Have you ever been able to do it?
I've done it a few times, but I still have to do it.
So, even if you can't manage to meditate, if you can just slow down, breathe, and release your breath. Be in a place where you'll be concentrated and ask, my God, help me reach this vibration so I can better listen to my mentor, and things like that. You'll certainly hear it. Do you want to see something? Okay, you're suddenly driving along, and then out of nowhere. You drive, don't you? Yes. Suddenly, you just get out of a pothole you didn't even notice. Has that ever happened to you before? If you had actually fallen into that hole, you'd have broken the wheel, flipped the car, and it would have been a total disaster. Do you really think you're the ace behind the wheel? Seriously? But you didn't see it. Yeah. That was a flash incorporation, as I call it. You had a possession, because sometimes the struggle is going to be so lost that he says, no, excuse me, let me go and take charge. And you go. And you had a possession. Those people who are so afraid, of actually seeing a ghost. Oh, no, I'm really afraid to see one. Oh, what do you have to say to them? I tell them this. Do you drive a car? Yes, I do. And do you drive at night? Yes, I do. With your headlights on or with them off? And then the person just goes completely silent, because if you're driving at night, you turn on your headlights, right? You have this incredible opportunity to possess a headlight that most other people simply don't have, and yet you choose not to switch it on. My God. Why? Oh, I'm scared. But that reality won't cease to exist just because you're not seeing it.
Isn't it? It'll be there, just like the radio frequency.
It's just like the frequency of the radio. It's always there. It doesn't stop existing, does it? So it is fear that ends up blocking our connection. That's right. So the person who's afraid, they're left with nothing. It's not possible. Sometimes people are like, oh no, I want to see Lago du Ben, but I'm scared. And then I say, oh, don't worry. When we get there, I'll hold your hand, I'll show you. But then it's not me anymore. It's the doctor, right? He's a good-humored guy. And he comes and takes their hand and says, where's Andre's wife? Where's the man who was scared? He's adorable. He is. And he takes the person, come here, they said you were afraid. Give me your hand. The fear will pass. And then he's already speaking with an incorporated entity, and the person doesn't even realize it. Later, they get all worked up, but by then it's already passed, right? He plays with the person so much that it ends up going away, right?
In fact, I even wanted to address this topic, because you perform spiritual surgeries, don't you? What is the process like before we delve into the spiritual surgeries for you to be able to incorporate the doctor who performs these operations, right?
It's quite interesting, isn't it? I went to a friend, and one day I approached him and I said, tell me, did you happen to know someone who could be close to me there? I have this dream of creating a place that would be for helping people. You'll say, and I wished so much that couldn't I have a young man close to me who could assist, He said, no, it takes a very long time to prepare a medium, you see. I replied, no, that's perfectly fine. We'll just knock on the door. Maybe she'll open it, right? I had never even considered him wanting to work alongside me, And so the next day, I'm quite straightforward about these things. I went to the medium and told him, hello, Chico, how are you doing? I wanted to let you know that yesterday I arrived and had this conversation with the doctor. And no, everything's fine. That's good, right? About 2 years went by. And my wife told me to search for a place, a large center there in Rio de Janeiro. And that's where it all started. I went to go visit a person who she had told me to specifically seek out. I truly wanted to speak with you, Andre. And she led me to a room of healing mediums.
I said, no, but you called me here, and I'm not a healing medium, folks. I receive pretovelho, the spirits, exu, trancaruas, and
That's not quite it. Grandpa gives a recipe and all, but don't think that's really the point. No, but you're already here, so you're staying. And so I stayed. And it was like that, really. It was really great.
Was it the very first time that you ever...
it was unforgettable. Oh my God, it was unforgettable. There was, he had a brother, his adopted brother, a spirit who was his adopted brother. And he was a very stern German, And he came over and said, hey, come here, you're going to operate. And I thought, oh my God, this guy is really tough. And look, I don't operate, man. I'm here, I like coming here, the people are cool. I come here, I work with my grandpa and all, but I don't operate, man. I won't argue with him, no, because he's very angry. And there she came and said, this sister, she has pains in her joints, she has pains in her hands and her feet.
Talking to you?
Operate. To me, he took me out, because there, in that place, we had about 4 stretchers, and there were 3 rows of people. And it was very average, and we had access to very few patients. So there was a rotation, and everyone was training, learning. It was really like a small school, And then he pulled me by the hand, and I said, look, I'll reach out my hand here, man, but this is not going to happen. This is absolutely not going to happen. And then when I reached out my hand, oh my God, a tube of liquid light came pouring down. And I saw that thing right there in my hand, and it was truly, truly beautiful. And then such a powerful, immense vibration of love just surged deep inside of me. And I thought to myself, oh my God, this crazy person here said this, and something truly extraordinary is actually happening right now. And at that moment, I was just like completely in shock, and then he tapped me on the shoulder and said, so you mean you don't operate? I said, that's just not fair. He heard exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, that's not right, man. And then he said, this brother here has a problem, and so on and so forth, operate. And then he started. It was the very first time, Lillian, that he had ever done that, He approached this young man and told him, you have the power to choose the man you wish to become whenever you want. It's entirely up to you. Daqui se fizesse coisa fosse. And the man immediately broke down in tears. So I imagine that he was facing some kind of dilemma, right? Choosing the path of good or choosing the easy way out. And that's how it was. He's very precise, very profound, and very direct, gently, yet direct. And then his brother said, all right, now you can rest. And so I sat down and I started thinking, man, what was that truck that just ran me over, with all that energy, emotion, and everything? And then I kept looking and I finally saw it. Hold on a second. He spoke with a little bit of a different accent. I said to myself, this scoundrel, he knows exactly who it is. I mentioned a different name, That cheapskate, chutei, he knows who it is. He heard him say it again, that it's no good at all. He stopped, looked at me, and I asked. He replied, yeah, I know, but it's not yet time for you to know. And then he started laughing. And I didn't even know he laughed, because he was always scolding everyone there. He had such a truly adorable sense of humor, Albert did. I feel an enormous amount of gratitude and a great deal of affection for him.
Albert.
And I really hope to run into him many, many times in the coffee room right next to their office upstairs, There's a place up high where there are many stretchers, I always see there are like 6 really massive warehouses. Some of them are 150 meters long. There's one that's 200, and then some others are about 200 by 300. The walls are very large, and that's where they treat people. And there's a place there a coffee room where everyone goes to have their coffee, right? And then for sure they tell some jokes there and they get to unwind a little bit, every now and then.
But that was your very first experience with it, wasn't
This
it?
was
And
the
now,
first time.
thinking about it, how many years has it actually been since that time? It's
15
been a
years.
full 15 years now. So in the present day, do you follow any particular ritual or specific process to prepare yourself to receive the incorporation? How does that work for you?
It's so quick, it's so simple. Today, but my connection with him started to grow to such a great extent that, just so you know, the other day I went to a wedding and they asked me to say a few words, and the one who came to speak those words was him. And that was a huge surprise for everyone. Everyone really likes him at the wedding, so it was truly a gift,
But is it because you want to or because he wants to? Or is it a two-way street? Is there a choice? So for example, if I want you to come now, does he come or is it more?
It's really that simple. He's a very, very dear friend, and he's absolutely adorable. So if I look at someone and I say to myself, I truly, truly want to help this person, and if I get the necessary permission, he'll stop whatever he's doing right then and there, and he'll come. It just happens. If he's not coming, it's because we simply don't have permission, right? And I've already learned that there's no use in being stubborn, because that just won't work, and I don't do anything. I am just an instrument. It's like a violin that's just sitting there, won't play itself. Someone has to play it, right? But if I call, I'll ask for it. And sometimes I look when you might see something. For example, I was with Lillian in Minas Gerais, and there was a young woman. He loves medical students and doctors. He has great affection for them. When a doctor visits that place, he treats the doctor as if they were a colleague, It's absolutely adorable. That's right. And the young lady, she wanted to pursue medicine. She's a person, from the countryside, from a very small town. And it's beautiful when you see someone with such a big dream, a person who comes from a place with very few resources, to have this dream of becoming a doctor, of helping other people, right? And then she was saying, no, but she has a problem, the mother was explaining, that she has knee pain and has already been to so many places, and she's been back and forth, but it hasn't been resolved. And he just said, you can go ahead and call her in. I said, is the girl there? She's here. She was supposed to go there tomorrow, but she ended up staying longer today. Let me just talk to her for a quick second. Man, when he shows up, it's him. He's already there. It's him. And the person is like... It's such a powerful energy that a person just freezes. Whoever is next to it, whoever is facing it. That's why at Agua do Bem, we decided to create a little drawing of a stick figure and have the person mark where they need to make corrections, as he jokes, right? Because people approach it thinking they'll tell a joke, that it'll be funny. But when they actually come face to face, the person stops. And then sometimes there are the funny ones who ask, and you, what are we going to fix? And then the person wants to make a joke without saying everything, right? And he's heard that a lot. So I managed to make a drawing. So when he arrives and asks, so what's on your arm? The person doesn't have the chance to say everything. There's no comedic punch. So he saw the young girl. He treated her. He told her not to strain herself for 48 hours. A while passed, right? And then we went back. Sir, you won't believe this. My daughter's knee got better that day you treated her.